the latest rumors and everything we know so far about the iPhone Fold. More on that coming up, but first, when it comes to making a great cup at home, us coffee nerds are constantly learning and love to try new things. Whether the person you're shopping for is a newly indoctrinated pour-over lover or obsessive over every brewing parameter, we've compiled a list of the best gear for coffee geeks that you can get. Spanning brewing, grinding, and, of course, drinking, we've got a range of options that can help the Java geek in your life expand their at-home setup or just try something new. And for the person that already has it all, we've got something for them too. Check out our full list of the best gifts for coffee lovers in 2026 right now at Engadget.com. Apple has yet to announce a foldable iPhone, but after years of speculation, the outlines of what's often referred to as the iPhone Fold are starting to come into focus. Multiple analysts and leakers now agree that Apple is targeting a late 2026 launch window for its first foldable phone, positioning it as a premium flagship rather than a niche experiment. As with all pre-launch Apple products, nothing here is official. Plans can change, features can be dropped, and timelines can slip. Still, recent reports paint the clearest picture yet of how Apple might approach a foldable iPhone and how it plans to differentiate itself from rivals like Samsung and Google. Following is a roundup of the most credible iPhone Fold rumors so far, covering its possible release timing, design, display, technology, cameras, and price. We'll continue to update this in posts at Engadget.com as rumors and details become available. When could the iPhone Fold launch? Rumors of a foldable iPhone date back as far as 2017, but more recent reporting suggests Apple has finally locked onto a realistic window. Most sources now point to fall 2026, likely alongside the iPhone 18 lineup. Mark Gurman has gone back and forth on timing, initially suggesting Apple could launch as early as 2026, before later writing that the device would ship at the end of 2026 and sell primarily in 2027. Analyst Ming-Chi Kuo has also repeatedly cited the second half of 2026 as Apple's target. Some reports still claim the project could slip into 2027 if Apple runs into manufacturing or durability issues, particularly around the hinge or display. Given Apple's history of delaying products that it feels aren't ready, that remains a real possibility. What will the iPhone Fold look like? Current consensus suggests Apple has settled on a book-style foldable design, similar to Samsung's Galaxy Z Fold series, rather than a clamshell flip phone. When unfolded, the iPhone Fold is expected to resemble a small tablet like the iPad mini, 8.3 inches. Based on the rumor mill, though, the iPhone Fold may be a touch smaller with an internal display measuring around 7.7 to 7.8 inches. When closed, it should function like a conventional smartphone with an outer display in the 5.5-inch range. CAD leaks and alleged casemaker mold suggest the device may be shorter and wider than a standard iPhone when folded, creating a squarer footprint that better matches the aspect ratio of the inner display. Several reports have also pointed to the iPhone Air as a potential preview of Apple's foldable design work, with its unusually thin chassis widely interpreted as a look at what one half of a future foldable iPhone could resemble. If that theory holds, it could help explain the Fold's rumored dimensions. Thickness is expected to land between roughly 4.5 and 5.6 millimeters when unfolded, putting it in a similar range to the iPhone Air, and just over 9 to 11 millimeters when folded, depending on the final hinge design and internal layering. Display and the crease question. The display is arguably the biggest challenge for any foldable phone, and it's an area where Apple appears to have invested years of development. Multiple reports say Apple will rely on Samsung Display as its primary supplier. At CES 2026, Samsung showcased a new creaseless foldable OLED panel, which several sources, including Bloomberg, suggested could be the same technology Apple plans to use. According to these reports, the panel combines a flexible OLED with a laser-drilled metal support plate that disperses stress when folding. The goal is a display with a nearly invisible crease, something Apple reportedly considers essential before entering the foldable market. If Apple does use this panel, it would mark a notable improvement over current foldables, which still show visible creasing under certain lighting conditions. Cameras and biometrics. Camera rumors suggest Apple is planning a 4-camera setup. Several sources claim Apple will avoid Face ID entirely on the iPhone Fold. Instead, it's expected to rely on Touch ID built into the power button, similar to recent iPad models. This would allow Apple to keep both displays free of notches or dynamic island cutouts. Under-display camera technology has historically produced lower image quality, but a rumored 24-megapixel sensor would be a significant step up compared to existing foldables, which typically use much lower resolution sensors. iPhone folds, hinge, and materials. The hinge is another area where Apple may diverge from competitors. Multiple reports claim Apple will use liquid metal, which is a long-standing trade name for a metallic glass alloy the company has previously used in smaller components. While often referred to as liquid metal in reports, liquid metal is the branding Apple has historically associated with the material. Liquid metal is said to be stronger and more resistant to deformation than titanium, while remaining relatively lightweight. If accurate, this could help improve long-term durability and reduce wear on the foldable display. Leaks from John Prosser also reference a metal plate beneath the display that works in tandem with the hinge to minimize creasing, a claim that aligns with reporting from Korean and Chinese supply chain sources. Battery and other components. Battery life is another potential differentiator. According to Ming-Chi Kuo and multiple Asian supply chain reports, Apple is testing high-density battery cells in the 5,000 to 5,800 milliamp-hour range. That would make it the largest battery ever used in an iPhone and competitive with or larger than batteries in current Android foldables. The device is also expected to use a future A-series chip and Apple's in-house modem. Price. None of this will come cheap, that's for certain. Nearly every report agrees that the iPhone Fold will be Apple's most expensive iPhone ever. Estimates currently place the price between $2,000 and $2,500 in the U.S. Bloomberg has said the price will be at least $2,000, while other analysts have narrowed the likely range to around $2,100 and $2,300. That positions the iPhone Fold well above the iPhone Pro Max and closer to Apple's high-end Macs and iPads. Despite years of rumors, there's still plenty that remains unclear. Apple hasn't confirmed the name iPhone Fold, final dimensions, software features, or how iOS would adapt to a folding form factor. Durability, repairability, and long-term reliability are also open questions. For now, the safest assumption is that Apple is taking its time and that many of these details could still change before launch. Thanks for listening to the show. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Today's show featured journalism by Engadget contributor Georgie Peru and was produced by Spoken Layer. I'm Imran Sheikh, and we'll talk more tomorrow.
Spoken Layer.